How's everybody doing? Leslie Plazz here, also known as Zazoo Plazz, here for my weekly Sunday update. It's September 13th, 2020. Got my apple shirt on. It's almost fall. And today my son Jack just got his senior yearbook picture taken last week, a couple weeks ago when they first started. And it was kind of weird. We got an email. Of course, we didn't get physical pictures back. And he's like, I don't like any of them. There's one of him where he's got his sleeves rolled up and he's like this. And I thought, I don't know, he looks like Mr. Clean, the guy in the commercials. He used to stand like this. He's about to come in and clean the floor or something. He looked a little bit too bossy, I don't know, too casual. Then there are a whole bunch of them that I think they're all fine. I think they're cute. You know, I'm mom. What do I know? But ultimately, he'll have to pick one that he's happy with, because that's the one that's going to be in the yearbook forever and ever. That everybody's always going to see and remember you by. No pressure. And of course, I got mine. Here's my yearbook picture from 1983. Actually, it was taken in 82, I think. For the yearbook, they took them in the fall, I think. Or might have even been junior year. I think this was 1982. The fall of 82 is what it was. And that was for my high school, East Catholic High School. And I'm looking at it and saying, yeah, he looks a little bit like me, you know. My hair was really long. It was like down to here, and I used to pull it back, barrettes. It wasn't quite big hair time yet. It was later in college. I cut my hair a little shorter and it moved up more. But back then it was still pretty tame. So, it still looks like me. And it's funny. It's funny how you can tell, you know, if you're on Facebook or something, you can look at someone and you recognize the essence of them. Even if 30 years have gone by, it's like, oh, that's her, that's him. And it's something maybe with the eyes, you know, or maybe just something that doesn't change, you know. A spirit, a little spark that the person gives off. What is that something? And now that we're all wearing masks, it's like, you know, you could still kind of recognize people, but without the nose and the mouth, you know, it's a little harder, but you could still see the eyes. So since it's 2020, right, and we're having clear vision, it's all tying together for me this week. It's amazing. I actually sent a notice about my book into the alumni, person who runs the alumni department at my high school. She said she was going to include it in the alumni news about Zazoo Plazz so that everyone can read it, enjoy it. There's a chapter about a day in high school. It was my first day of freshman year high school. My favorite teacher. And it's funny, isn't it? How she said she wasn't sure that there was going to be an alumni magazine online as it is this fall. There was one last fall, but then they didn't have one this spring because of the virus and all that. And yet some of my classmates have already read it, which is, hey, thanks. And yet they're the ones who could probably relate to it the best. Isn't it true? Because the ones who are there know us the best. They share our vision. They share a certain outlook more than anybody else. You know, those people who were born around the same time we were, and of course, and went through many of the same things, and that's why they get our humor. People who have a shared experience. So for what it's worth, I've put Zazoo out there, and whoever's going to find it, her, will find her. I want to give a shout out to my eye doctor who bought a copy of my book this week, I think, an ebook, because my husband went to the eye doctor and she was asking about the book because I always talk about it when I went in there. And so she was very excited about it. And she said, oh, she should submit Zazoo to the Reese Witherspoon book club. And I had no idea what this week. I know Reese Witherspoon. She's a famous actress. Loved her in her movies, especially Legally Blonde. Very good movie, very funny. So I went on her website, and it says, we are not accepting any unsolicited copies of books at this time. So I said, okay. So anybody out there knows Reese, suggest that she pick my book, Zazoo, for the next month's book club, or the next one, whatever. I think she might enjoy it because she's selecting books that have to do with women, you know, strong women who have, you know, distinct stories, interesting stories, which Zazoo does, many audacious adventures. But if Reese doesn't pick my book, that's okay, because I'll have my Zazoo Club. And I'm going to pick my book as the first book of the Zazoo Plazz book club. The next book I select will be the next book I write. You see what I did there? See, it's like being in high school, right? Where, say you want it, you know, I was never like this, but so you want the popular people. You want to be accepted by the popular people, right? The more you try to be accepted by the popular crowd, the less they want you. See? That's the way life works. Same thing. So, you know what? I got my own book club. If Reese picks my book, so much more the better. But if she doesn't, I'll be fine. Because I'm president of my own book club, the Zazoo Plazz book club. And anybody who wants can join or not, that's fine. See? Because real freedom and real success and real happiness means that you don't need anybody to accept you. As long as you're following your divine purpose in the world, whoever's supposed to read my book will read my book. I'm just putting it out there. I'm doing my job. So, I welcome anybody and everybody. No pressure. And I'm just happy writing more stories. You know? I'm happy with what I have. See, because as long as you're striving, did that song. I do not want what I have not got. Was that, oh, what's her name? I can't think of her name right now. I know she shaved her head. Anyway, I'll think of it later. I'll put it in the notes. The idea being, whatever's out there that I don't have, I don't miss. Because I'm happy right where I am with what I have. See? And sight is more than just reading an eye chart. It's seeing with your other senses and exercising those other senses. More on that some other time. That's enough for today. Zazoo Plazz. You know, I never did get involved in the yearbook because I was already senior co-editor of the newspaper and the literary magazine. They wouldn't let me on the yearbook staff. I always wanted to tell them, guys, you left the E out of my middle name. It's Anne with an E. If I had been on the staff, I probably would have noticed that. I would have made that little correction, but that's okay. You guys did a great job. Until next time. Take care. Hi, Reese. Happy reading. See you next time. Take care.